All right, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is robert.balasabas. Thanks for watching this video. Today we're going to be talking all about the worst part about working remotely, right there front and center. I'm actually really excited about this. I polled a couple of my different communities, Facebook and YouTube. I'm going to show that to you guys. I'm going to show you some of the responses. I'm going to be reacting to some of those and giving some of my own thoughts and feedback to some of the responses. I think you're going to be finding that there is a bit of a common theme to what people feel are the worst parts about working remotely. And so really excited to share this with you guys and sort of start a conversation or keep a conversation that's probably already going on. And so if you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is robert.balasabas. I hope you're enjoying this little makeshift microphone stand here. I'm trying to mix up all my different microphones. As you guys know, I use the Rode as well, the Rode NT1. But today I thought I'd use the Mano Fairy microphone. So it's a USB mic. And if you want to check it out, there's a link down in the description. I've got a review video on it as well. So let me know how you find it. But let's dive into today's video. So I'm going to share my screen here. And this is my Facebook insights, my stats on Facebook and my Facebook page. All right. So you're going to see some pop-ups here because my Facebook is actually fairly busy, fairly active on Facebook, different Facebook groups and things like that for community. I use it personally as well. And so you'll see some different pop-ups here. Hopefully they're not going to be disturbing us too much. But what I wanted to share with you guys first is insights here, because I want to be real with you. Okay. So I posted this up, this post right here. What is the worst part about working remotely on my Facebook page, my Facebook business page? And you'll see here, these are my some of my most recent posts, and this is the post right here that I just showed you. And you can see here that the reach is way more than a lot of the other posts that I have shared recently. And so this definitely told me that this is something that is very, quite a point of interest for our community. And so this is something I wanted to share with all of you. And so what is the worst part about working remotely? Okay, so this is the question that we are talking about today. And so before I share what the community shared in this post, in the comments, let me know what you feel is the worst part about working remotely. Okay, maybe there's nothing, right? I'm gonna share here my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel where you are watching this video right now. By the way, if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe so you can see more videos like this one. But if you aren't, if you are, then you would have seen that I also posted the same post on my Facebook, in my YouTube community tab. And you'll see that there's not as many responses. There's about 6 comments, and you're gonna see that there's quite a bit of difference in the responses and what people felt. And so let's start off with Facebook. All right, let's start off with Facebook right here. So like I said, before I make sure you pause this video and let me know in the comments on YouTube, in this video, in the comments, let me know what's the worst part about working remotely for you, okay? So the first one here, we're gonna jump right in, is from Chantel Hills. Okay, we're gonna zoom in so that we can read this really, really well. And so Chantel, thanks Chantel for the comment. She says, lack of human interaction with people who speak the work language. So that's the worst part for her in terms of working remotely, which I can totally agree. And I actually replied to it and I said, I'm sure you can find like-minded folks online as well. But if you are seeking that in-person reaction, I definitely hear you. So I definitely hear you there, Chantel. So I think that there is definitely that human interaction that you are not going to get online working remotely. Now you can get it through communities such as Slack or Facebook groups and things like that, but that like face-to-face in-person human interaction is definitely going to be missing. All right, so next we've got here Grace Duffy, a good friend of mine. She says that the reading energy levels and problem solving. I hate being stuck on an issue that would have taken a super simple that would have been super simple for a coworker next to me to resolve in a snap, right? Makes a lot of sense, right? So, if you are in the office, then you'd be really, really easy to just go over to somebody's desk, or they come over to yours and you work out the issue or work out the problem, solve it right there. And then, you have both of your laptops open and you guys both work on it, and within minutes it could be solved. Whereas, if you're working remotely, then it's going to take a little longer because of the back and forth, maybe time zone differences. If you're working with a remote team member that's not in the same time zone as you, so that could be a little bit trickier. So I can understand that. So thank you, Grace, for that insight. Thank you for sharing that. Let me know if you agree with Grace or any of these comments that I'm sharing here. All right, so the next comment here from Sean is isolation and lack of social contact. This is actually quite a theme that came up that I noticed, is that community, that isolation, that human interaction, which is the first one that we heard from Chantel. It's quite a recurring theme when it comes to working remotely, and understandably so, right? Everybody is, remote, so you can't really, get that sort of interaction with people, and so isolation and lack of social contact. Now, I do have some thoughts on this. I do have some ways I think that we can kind of solve some of these, these hurdles and some of these struggles when you're working remotely. And I'll share that at the end here, but I just want to go through and kind of give a thanks and shout out and mention some of the comments that we got here. All right, so the next one from Marissa, a good friend of mine, Marissa Callie. She says, not being able to go to lunch and watch soccer with work peers. I know that Marissa is a huge soccer fan, and so that's one of the things that she misses. And also going to lunch with co-workers and peers that are in the office. Understandably so. All right, next here we've got Amanda Smith. I love working from home and be happy to find another job I can do from home. So, she loves it. There's no complaints, Amanda. That's awesome. Thank you, Amanda. All right, my friend Tim Lewis from the UK, from London. He says, lack of social contact. Again, lack of social contact if you don't manage it properly. And me and Tim actually kind of went back and forth here. I told Tim that I was actually thinking of getting a co-working space that I can rent, maybe a hot desk. That could be a solution to sort of that lack of social contact. You can rent, a space or a desk, or get a membership at a WeWork or a Regis or one of those types of, places. There's places like that in every city of the world almost, right? And so you can get one of those. You can get a membership. Sometimes it's as little as like, $100 a month that I was looking at, $150 a month, and then all the way up to, thousands if you're going to get, a dedicated space and things like that. But you can get, I think here in Vancouver, for example, I think you can get a membership for about $150 to $200 per month to go into the office, the co-working space, once or twice a week, which is pretty good. And then the rest of the time you can work from home, and really, be productive, right? I mean, I think in general, most people find that they're quite productive at home. It's the social contact that's missing. And so co-working spaces are a really good use of that, right? It's a good way to battle that isolation, lack of community that you are probably finding. Working at coffee shops, again, depending on restrictions, all right? So depending on restrictions, you might be commenting, hey, we can't do coffee shops because we have restrictions where we are. So depending on the restrictions, if you're allowed to work at a coffee shop, that might also be a good sort of thing to do each week, maybe once a week. Head off into the coffee shop on an afternoon for a couple hours, and then that way you sort of, are part of a sort of like the crowd, right? And you get that, that fix to be within other people and around other people, right? So that's a couple things that you can definitely do. All right, so thanks so much, Tim. All right, we're going to keep on going here. Jesse Chris works at the church that we attend at Village Church, and he says he's eating too many snacks. So that is the worst part. So Jesse, if that's the worst part of working remotely for you, then it's not so bad. But yeah, thank you so much for the comment. That's awesome. Melanie says, not being able to collaborate in a room with others, nothing beats being in physical space when you're brainstorming. Totally agree. And, Melanie, similar to what Grace said, being that in that same space to collaborate, to, find solutions to, hurdles or a project and things like that. For Melanie, it seems like that brainstorming in person, that energy that you have with other people in the room when you're brainstorming is what, is really not that great for her, during sort of in this remote first environment that we find ourselves in. In that thread, I also did share this website called Miro.com with Melanie, and I'll talk about this in another video, and I'll show you guys around this. This is something that we used here in my day job, and basically it's a virtual collaborative whiteboard. And so if you guys want to check this out, feel free. I'll leave a link in the description, but I'll also create a separate video kind of walking you through this. This might be a good solution for some of you who are working and doing collaborations with team members. Our friend here, David Foster from Overland Geeks, who actually will have an interview being published on this channel very soon. He says, internet in the US can be horrible if you're out and about. Yeah, that's true. That is true. So David actually will be traveling. He's gonna be he's got this souped up, rigged out truck, and he's gonna be camping. There's like a tent on the rooftop of his truck, and he's gonna be camping, working, live streaming, and he's gonna be doing that for portions of the year. That's his plan, and so that's the context of his comment here, that the internet in the US can be horrible if you're out and about. But David has solutions for that, and so he shares that in a video, and so you guys make sure to tune into that interview once it's published. But yeah, thank you so much, David. George Debanis, my good friend as well, he says, you take less breaks in general and usually eat lunch at your desk instead of actually taking a lunch break. So basically what George is saying is that you end up working way more. So you take less breaks in general, which I agree with. I can definitely feel that for sure. That's sort of what's happening with me as well. If I don't watch it, if I'm not time blocking and things like that, then I tend to miss taking breaks, and that's why I talk about the Pomodoro timers and tomato timers and stuff. As funny as they sound, they really have helped me make sure that I'm taking breaks properly throughout the day. I'm going away from my desk for lunch and not eating my lunch here, eating outside or going for a walk or eating lunch with a friend, with Justine, my wife. And so again, I can totally feel that. And so there's definitely, that's the reason why these things are important. These little tools that we implement throughout our day is really important. So thank you, George. That's a great thought. Great insight. Jane Bancroft says, no downside to working from home. Love it. There you go. Second positive, no complaints comment there from Jane Bancroft. Thank you so much, Jane. Carrie, just like Jesse, says, I'm too close to the fridge. It's hilarious. It's so funny. So too close to the fridge. Well, there you go. Well, maybe you can move things around, right? Maybe you can shift to a different spot in the house. Not so close to the kitchen or the fridge there. But thank you, Carrie. That's awesome. Scott says, no pants required. Wait, that's an advantage. Yes, and I told Scott actually here that I've been wearing shorts. I am wearing shorts right now, not like boxer shorts, but like, basketball shorts or like running shorts. I'm just usually in shorts. If I can get away with shorts, that's what I'm wearing. Khaki shorts, that sort of thing. And so that's hilarious. But yeah, thank you, Scott. Thank you so much. Sarah says, my friend Sarah here, I miss socializing after work. Sneaky drinks and snacks after the workday with colleagues and friends. So again, it is that social interaction. So Sarah, yes, I totally agree with you. I remember when I was working at an office in my, previous to TubeBuddy, I was working at a company called Thinkific, and regularly, after work, once or twice a week, there'd always be groups. Actually, thinking back, almost every day after work, there would be a group maybe staying around, having some drinks, hanging out. There'd be a little group, maybe even playing video games, right? Things like that. Or there'd be a group that would say, hey, we're going to go for drinks after work. Like whoever wants to come, you're welcome. They'd post it up on Slack. So I totally agree. That is something that I do miss. I do miss that socializing after work as well. Going, after work and just kind of hanging out with your colleagues. So yeah, definitely. And I did share. One of the things that I did share with Sarah is that in some cities, I'm hearing that there are, little meetup clusters like of remote workers. And so if you are, in a city where there might be a lot of remote workers or that's sort of a norm, you might want to just kind of do a Google search and kind of skip around and see if there are, maybe on LinkedIn or Meetup or like different pockets, maybe there's Facebook groups of remote workers in your city, where you can kind of get together and invite people, obviously in a public place, keep it all safe and all that, and just kind of have an open invite for a few people to, fellow remote workers that to come and grab a drink. Again, COVID restrictions, all of that stuff, be smart about it. But yeah, it's something that you can kind of explore if you're looking to do that, right? There might be little events popping up here and there, or even just casual meetups, informal meetups with, other remote workers that in your city, okay? Brian says, nothing, no problems with remote working. I love that. Thank you, Brian. Michael Chris says only taking one shower a week. All right, so Michael and Scott Aries are sort of in the same. They're talking about their hygiene here. So one shower a week. I think he's totally joking, so it's all good there. David Trigueros, that's a cool last name. David Trigueros says none. I love it. Awesome. Love that. I said that's a great answer. Awesome. Ollie says packing bags every month. So I'm guessing that Ollie here, yeah, he is, or she is a digital nomad. So it looks like Ollie moves around quite a fair bit. That's why I'm going to scroll back. I'm trying to find the comment here. Ollie does move around quite a fair bit here. 4 years now as a full-time digital nomad. So that's another level, right? Like there's remote workers where we work from home. And then there's, straight out digital nomads, right? Digital nomads that are basically, moving around, every few months or so, and maybe every week, every couple days, every month, whatever it is, maybe short-term Airbnbs, that sort of thing, and really living that lifestyle of moving around and no set place. And so that's very, very interesting. And I definitely commend you for doing that. So 4 years now, Ollie. Good job. That's awesome. Okay. And then we've got Andrew Kavanaugh here saying working too close to the kitchen. Again, people, guys, you gotta just maybe reposition yourself away from the kitchen or make it a little tougher, maybe, right? Make it a little tougher to get to the kitchen somehow, maybe work in the furthest corner away from the kitchen as possible. So working too close to the kitchen, temptation beckons, yes. Tim Sohn, good friend Tim here says lack of real people contact. Again, we're going to the social interactions, social connections, that isolation and community, in-person contact is Tim's pain point here. And so this is very insightful. I think a lot of us already kind of knew that, but it's really insightful, and hopefully it helps you guys to sort of release these thoughts and share it with other people, and just know that hopefully in this little quaint community, either on my YouTube channel or on this Facebook page, I hope that you guys are all finding ways to connect with each other. It's awesome that I get to connect with all of you directly in some form or capacity, but I want to make sure that I'm also fostering you all connecting with each other. And so however I can do that, please let me know. I'm all about community, okay? J.R. Dios Martinez, another cool name, that remotely you could see money in your wallet. Yeah. I don't think that's such a bad thing. I think that's great, isn't it? You could see money in your wallet. Basically, you can make money from anywhere. That's the reality that we live in. growing up, it's not something that was normal. Even my friends' parents or grown-ups that I kind of came in contact with, remote work was not a normal thing. But nowadays, I think there's more and more people making money remotely, right, from their home, working online. Companies hiring remotely and stuff like that. Obviously, COVID has really fast-tracked that whole trend and this whole movement. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing, I think. Angelina Escobar, the morning. Okay, there's a gif here, waking up after you fall asleep working, and then you just wake up and you're back at it again. And there you go. So that's Facebook. I'm gonna hop over to YouTube real quick, and let's do that here and read off some of the thoughts that people had there. And I want to share a couple things before we part ways today in this video. And so here it is from Ash. He says, because I posted the same thing on YouTube, and Ash says, I love working remotely. I actually wouldn't swap it for anything. Amazing. I know Ash really loves it. I see Ash, he's a good friend of mine. We've done live streams together. I'm going to be hopping on his podcast very soon. So Ash, thank you for that. I know that you really enjoy this and you've got a young family, and so it must be working out really well for you. So I'm just so super happy to hear that. Spoke Audio says, I love working remotely. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Awesome. So good to hear. Jeff, Dole Whip Dad says, the having to work part. Yeah, I mean, yes, that is part of working remotely. It's literally in the term working. So yeah, the work part. But I know Jeff's just joking. He's a super funny guy. So yeah, thank you so much, Jeff. Dean Reynolds says, I'm not able to hug anyone. I'm definitely a hugger. Well, at some point, we'll hook up and we'll hang out. And, maybe at a conference or something, give it a big bro hug. So yeah, no, I hear you. Again, we're going to the connection and in real life connection and, community building, interaction, face to face, that social contact. It is definitely the pain point here. Graham Amber Sky Media says, slow internet and every meeting needs to be scheduled. So Graham is sort of in a bit of a remote area, part of the world in Canada. Being obviously internet is a little tougher. So that's why he's saying slow internet. And then every meeting needs to be scheduled. I hear what he's saying there. Whereas back in the day, you can just pick up the phone, or if you're not working remotely, you're working in person, you could just head over to their desk and then talk to them, right? Which is good and bad, right? It's great because you have quick access. You can probably solve things faster, but then bad because then there's no sort of set boundaries where you can, tell people, hey, I'm working right now. I'm heads down. Please do not disturb, which is the nice thing about, sort of everything needing to be scheduled. But I see what Graham's saying there. A chosen cover girl says, not interacting with others. I am a people person. So again, that isolation, sort of, not having that people contact, in-person contact is definitely a pain point for a chosen cover girl. So I'm not sure what your name is, but yeah, let me know. Leave a comment. Always like to know people's first name at least, so that we can address you as that. But yeah, thank you for the comment. So as you can see, the general theme here is that social interaction from everyone, right? From other people. A lot of the comments here really comes down to that. And so a couple things that I would suggest is find a community. I know it's not going to be the replacement for in-person community and social contact and interaction. It's not going to replace that online. It's not going to replace that in-person sort of connection. But it's as best as we can do for now. It's just the honest truth, right? If we're not able to go into an office full time or go to conferences, depending on where you are, or even worse, if there's lockdowns in your city, which you can't even get together with other people, then try to find an online community at least, right? Pay attention though to your Zoom fatigue and things like that, because you might find that, hey, maybe this is actually wearing you out to be meeting with people online, having virtual coffees, more than it's, giving you life, right? And so make sure that you're paying attention to that as well, because that can happen. But that would be my first suggestion. Now, if you have the luxury in your city where you live to find small groups of remote workers that meet up for coffee or meet up at a park or something, every now and then that might be the second option there as well. Another option to kind of explore, so you can kind of see what's happening. And then again, COVID, be smart. If there's meetups, because I'm seeing online that some cities are now having meetups. I had a friend in I think it was Dallas or Austin, good friend of mine, and Devin. Devin, if you're watching, what's up? Looking forward to the podcast interview very soon. But Devin, I saw Devin on sharing Instagram stories where he's going to different meetups. In different tech meetups, where he lives, and I think that's in Austin. But it's happening all over the place, right? In different places. So that could be another thing that you can do. So that's just some of the comments. I just again wanted to get this conversation started, or keep it going, or just encourage this conversation to happen. If there's something that I can do from kind of where I sit, I'm open to suggestions, guys. If that's something I can help with in terms of this social interaction and lack of it, whether it's a monthly group Zoom meetup that we can host, or something like that. Help me help everyone here, and whatever platform is that I have here on YouTube, would love to help others sort of find community, because I find that I was thinking about this quite a fair bit, but I find that I'm fairly blessed with a really awesome online community, through Facebook, through YouTube, and Instagram, and friends and colleagues and things like that. That I feel fairly okay with the online community. Of course, I do miss the in-person, but during this new normal, doing fairly okay. So I want to make sure that just because we're okay, that we're not trying to see others that are not doing so well. I saw this post on Instagram stories, and I reshared it as for my friend Anthony Ambrose. It was one of those memes that said that something to the effect of like, we are not all on the same boat. Like this new normal that we're in, working remotely, and all of these sort of like lack of community and things like that. These feelings of isolation and things like that. We're not all on the same boat. We're all in the same storm, but some people are. They have kayaks, some people have yachts, they're doing better than others, and some people are drowning, right? And so if that's you, don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to connect with you. I would love to help you connect with others. I'm like I said, I'm blessed to have a couple different communities that I can lean into online with like-minded people, content creators, and people that work remotely. So feel free to reach out to me. And hopefully this video was helpful for you, and something that can just get the conversation started. All right. So with that, thank you for watching. Check out some of the other videos here. Make sure to leave a comment and like this video, and I respond to all the comments, as you guys will find. And with that, again, my name is Rob.balasabas, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.